Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, a little something different. Today we are going to be unboxing and reviewing these products that I bought. Disclaimer, I am not sponsored nor am I affiliated with this company. So I'm going to give you guys my honest opinion about these products, run them through the tests, obviously show you how they all work, what they can do, give you guys a honest feedback. First off, why did I buy these products? I mean, as you guys can see, all of the tanks on the back, they have lights. And as you guys can obviously see, these are two lights from the company Aquael. The first reason basically that I bought new lights and this, which I'll get into a little bit later, is that the light that comes with the kit from the Half Moon tank, over the years of me owning and running, well, this tank, I used the light on it, I think for about a year and a half, and it did its job perfectly. It grew plants, obviously lights up the tank, you know, the fish look quite nice under it. It's just that the more harder to grow plants, they struggle a little bit. It only has white LEDs, so that's why I also bought these, because these are a little bit more specialized on plant growth with the color and the color spectrum of what they actually emit. But before we dive into the products and go and start unboxing and I ramble scientific knowledge at you people, let me give you guys an update on the Half Moon tank first. Now the tank has been up and cycling basically now for 2 weeks. From the last video, from what you guys saw, when I filled up the tank, it's been 2 weeks now and everything has been going basically according to plan. The wood started growing a little bit of a film of this white mold, which is completely harmless to your fish tank, to your water chemistry. As mentioned in the last video, there's actually a few fish that actually love to eat it. Shrimps love to eat it. Snails love to eat it as well. And that's also one of the reasons why you guys can actually just see a few snails probably roaming around in the scape. The reason for that is that the snails are always going to keep the mold at bay, and they are actually doing a perfect job at it. A few little outbreaks of the mold were here and there on a few pieces of wood where it actually started growing a little bit. But the next day when I basically woke up, came in to have a check on the tank, it would be gone again. Yeah, if it all carries on the way that it's going, in the next week or so, I can then basically get the plants and start planting this tank. But yeah, that's going to be for the next video. Okay, now that you guys are updated on the tank, let me get back to the lights. One of the reasons why I bought these lights is because, well, many years back, obviously when I started off this tank for the first time, which was about 5 years ago, I did at some point upgrade the lights on the Half Moon tank with basically the same models. Now I have them on the Nano tank and they've been basically running for the last 4 years without any problems. Yeah, they've been doing the job perfectly well. And basically, you know, you go with what you know, and that's why I bought these. Now, these lights from Aquael are the version 3 lights. Now, the version 3 lights, basically they have a few more improvements than the version 2s that I have on the Nano Cube, and that these lights come with the full day spectrum function, like every other light comes. It comes with a daybreak function and with a night light function. Now, the daybreak function I am quite interested in, and I hope that it is what they basically are advertising on the box, and I hope that it is actually that the light switches on and slowly ramps up its intensity until it gets to its full spectrum, and then basically gives the plants, yeah, its full power. So we'll have to see and look if that is the case. The other reason why I also went with these lights are the pricing. I paid for both of these lights, I think around about 50 euros, 55 euros. It's quite a good price, I would say. Other lights in this category and the power and intensity of the lights, like Day&Night and so on, they already almost double the price of these, or even actually triple the price of these. Now, the plant Day&Night lights from Aquael, they actually integrate red and blue LEDs as well to give it a different color spectrum, especially for, well, specializing in plant growth. Now plants, they do tend to grow better under blue and red light, or rather said blue and red spectrum of light, which these lights provide to the plants. So the day that I received these lights, I obviously was quite excited. I obviously took the box out directly and I obviously went through it, and on the side of the box, I saw this. Now this on the side of the box is that they're advertising their Socket Link Duo, which is a wireless timer, not included. And yeah, I was quite intrigued about this and basically just thought to myself, this I need to test and buy as well. So yeah, this is the Socket Link Duo. Now the Socket Link Duo is, as mentioned, and as you guys can see, it's a wireless controller basically that uses just one plug and splits off to two plugs, where you can actually attach multiple different devices onto two separate plugs. This obviously for me, yeah, running out of plug space down in my cupboard is obviously quite ingenious and quite awesome actually, especially since I now can run two lights of one plug, which yeah, saves me quite a bit of space in my little cupboard. And as mentioned, you can also run all the other devices as well. You can run your pumps, your filter pumps on it. You can run your lights on it. You can run your heaters on it. You can run magnetic electric solenoids on it for your CO2 system. And you can also run your fertilizer pumps off it. So it's all in all, you know, you can have multiple things, well, two things, but yeah, multiple things on the same thing. And it is all app controlled. And obviously via Wi-Fi. So if you're anywhere around the world, you can actually connect to your device, set your settings, and I'm actually keen on testing that as well. I got the products unboxed, and I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a reference of the two different lights. This obviously being the light from Tetra that comes with the tank, and this being the one from Aquael. I very much like the ones from Aquael. Very, very thin, very, very sleek design. Just makes it a little bit, well, makes it look much better on the tank. And obviously the one from Tetra is quite chunky and big. And yeah, it doesn't look bad either. It's just, I like the more sleek design. So got the app installed on my phone and connected to the Socket Link Duo. Let me open up the app for you guys. And as you guys can see, boop, there it pops up. And obviously you guys can see it's connected to the Wi-Fi. Now it's pretty easy to set up. If you open up the app, basically it's going to give you all sorts of instructions, how to connect it to Wi-Fi. And if you don't want to connect it to Wi-Fi or don't have Wi-Fi, you can basically also just connect it, yeah, via your app. Now let's open up the app, and obviously there is the Socket Link Duo. Now you can obviously rename it to be Socket Link 1, 2, 3, or Socket Link lamps, pumps, filters, so on and so forth, which is quite nice. And you can see your connectivity. You can obviously set a password on it so that family members or friends or whoever basically can't go into your app and basically just troll your settings. The settings that we are going to be most interested obviously in is the operation settings. And as you guys can see, I was already playing around with it a little bit. Here's obviously now the times, and up here you got your steady outputs in the sense. Now I can obviously now just switch them on. Output 1 basically switched on instantly. Output 2 just takes a little bit of time. And if I hit here, day and night lighting, basically you can now set your lights basically to what you want them to have. Obviously at the moment, if I set it to day, it's just going to be the standard full brightness, full light spectrum daylight. As you guys can obviously see down here, it does take a little bit of time to switch the settings. So let's give it a little bit of time, let the light switch on. Okay, as you guys can see, the light switched on. Did take a little bit of time. I had to reset on output 2 the on and off switch. And as you can see now that the output 2 or light 2 in my fact is also on, I can also set it to be on daylight function. Now again, if you switch the functions of the light, it does take a little bit of time again for it to basically reset the lamp. Don't know why, it's a little bit annoying, but yeah, let's just wait for that light to switch on, and then I'm going to show you guys the other functions of the light. Okay, now that both lights are on, let's go back into the app. And as you guys can see, I got the full spectrum daylight set. So now I can basically just go and set day break on both lights. Again, they switch off. It's going to take a bit of time for them to actually reset. And there you guys saw, basically, they basically flashed a few times and set themselves to the daybreak function. Now, the daybreak function is basically just 50% less intensity. So Obviously, the light spectrum obviously now is a little bit more in the bluish range. More blue LEDs are on. I'm going to give you guys a close-up of the LEDs just now. But let's now turn them to the night mode. Okay, and there we saw basically the lights flashed through their cycles again. So it actually cycles through at different settings and now is on its night light. In the app, basically, where I was playing around, so if I go to time, obviously here you can now set your different times. Now, as you guys can see, basically I set the light from 11 to 11:30 on daybreak on both outputs. 11:30 to 5:30 is full spectrum daylight. And then again, I have 5:30 till 6 o'clock, I basically got daybreak again. So in the mornings, half an hour, I got 50% light intensity. Then for the rest of the day, I got full intensity of light. And then at night, for the last half an hour before the light switch off, I got another 50%, reduction in light intensity. Basically somewhat simulating the daylight. Though the only problem, unfortunately, that I have is that when it switches between the modes, the lights don't automatically immediately switch modes. They actually switch off, as you guys saw just now. They switch off, cycle through their light, and then basically switch themselves back on again, which is a little bit annoying. But maybe there's a way around it. I have not figured it out yet. We'll have to see in that. If I go to add, I can add the time. So I can add the night light. If I go in, I can basically turn on, turn off the time, set my weeks, and basically down here I can now set the night light. On either output, you can now basically set whenever you want, what time you want, what light spectrum you want. If you guys like the video so far, smash the like button and subscribe. Leave a comment down below what you guys think so far about the lights and the Socket Link Duo. Hit the notification bell for future content, but I would say let's continue and see what my thoughts are on these products. The lights. I am actually quite impressed with the lights, I will say. Now, the version 3s compared to the version 2s that I actually have on the Nano, I would say that the light intensity of these is actually much brighter than the ones in the Nano. But I'm very pleased with these lights. I do like the color spectrum of them. The color spectrum of 9000 Kelvin, gives it this more bluish look, I would say. I'll put a little depiction of what the different colors look at different Kelvin ranges. Otherwise, I'm actually very pleased with these lights. I think they look quite good. I mean, for the price that you pay for these lights. The Socket Link Duo. Now, it's a little bit of a mixed emotions there. I do like the fact it uses one plug and splits off to two, so that you can actually run, in my case, 2 lights of one plug, which is very convenient, especially if you're slowly but surely running out of plug space or have an absolute cable mess down in your cupboard. Connected to multiple different devices and actually run them via your app, via Wi-Fi, all across the world, which is quite convenient and I actually very much like. The downside of the Socket Link Duo is, in my fact, I thought that it was going to be a little bit smaller, but then again, that's, the least of my concerns. The other problem that I technically have is its pricing. Now, for the Socket Link Duo, I paid around about 50 euros. It's quite a pricey little piece of equipment for what it can do and what it does. The next problem that I have, which is, I would say, the biggest one of them all, is the switching from the switching between light cycles, as you guys obviously saw, is something that I actually don't like at all. Now that the light actually switches off from, let's say, the daybreak, that it actually switches off, flashes through its cycles, and then actually only switches on to the next cycle, is very annoying. I would have way more preferred the light to actually, literally just instantly switch to the next cycle without it switching off or even flashing its light. So that is quite annoying. All in all, though, I'm quite pleased though. The Socket Link Duo, obviously, I'm still going to be playing around with that. Maybe I missed some functions there. If any of you guys have a Socket Link Duo, let me know down in the comments if you guys have the same problem or if I'm missing anything. But with the lights, I'm very much pleased with them. The next step, obviously, is to put some plants into the fish tank and put some fish into the fish tank as well. And to actually see the colors of the plants and the fish in the half moon tank with these lights on. If you guys do want to see the difference in lamps once I actually have the tank planted and actually stocked with some livestock, let me know in the comments below. But otherwise, yeah, that was it for the review of the lights. Again, if you guys liked the video, leave a like and a comment and subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next one.